Okay, let's do this. This is take like 4, I think. But okay, so I did write all the steps down here in a little notepad. This is going to be very helpful. So the first thing that you're going to do when you come up with the thumbnail is the idea. That's like the main thing. So since we're not working with our ideas beforehand, we have to come up with an idea after or while we're editing the video or after the video is sent to us, depending on what kind of thumbnail artist you are. So since I, for example, was editing and making the thumbnails for the video, I would try to come up with ideas while I'm editing. So I would always do like markers on the footage while I was editing, or I would just take notes using my notepad on my computer while I was editing. So this is super helpful. So I would do like, let's say he got a quadra kill with like 10 HP. So I would do like quadra, 10 HP quadra kill. That would be like my idea for the thumbnail or the title. And then I would do like a timestamp, like this happened at 6:18. Okay, so then let's say I finished editing the video. So I'd go back to this timestamp and then I would screenshot the game in my editor. So I was using DaVinci Resolve. So DaVinci Resolve has an easy way of screenshotting footage while you're editing. If you're using Premiere or whatever you're using, I'm sure there's a way to also do it on there. So just Google how to do that. And then I would grab the screenshot, save it, put it into Photoshop, and here it is. So this is actually a screenshot, I think. I think this is a screenshot from the game, a game that I edited, but I'm not sure. But this is just what I have for now. So you grab the screenshot, you're in here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through the steps now. So you grab the layer. So right here, this is my layer section. If your Photoshop doesn't look like this, you might have to reset. So you go to Window, Workspace, Essentials, and then you do Reset Essentials. So it'll look like this. So grab the screenshot, you do Filter. Oops. So I am on my laptop, so it's a little bit slower. So you go Filter, Camera Raw Filter. Okay, so I kind of go through everything here and see if there's anything that would help this picture pop more. So usually it's definitely in the light, color, and effects. These are like the main things that I use. And then detail. So light, color, effect, detail. So light, we always bring up the exposure to make it brighter. Contrast. Highlights, you kind of have to play with it, but usually you bring the highlights down. Shadows, again, just kind of play with it. But do know that like all of these, you don't change a lot. If you change a lot, it'll look obvious. Blacks. Okay, that looks good. And then we do color. So for the background, I usually go a little bit cooler because I usually go warmer with the front layer, which is usually the face. And then, so saturation, we want more color. Vibrance, we want the color to pop. See what happens when you take it out. Okay, so we do that. Tint, I don't usually mess with. Yeah, I don't usually really do anything with the tint. Okay, so then we do effects. So we definitely want to bring out some of the texture here and the clarity. This kind of brings out some of the details. Grain, let's not bring out any grain just because I do feel like it's already kind of grainy because I do think I already edited this, but you can add it. I'll be adding it at the end as well when I combine all the layers. So we're not doing that right now. And then detail, so I always sharpen it to try to make it look even more HD. So if you see it kind of looks noisy, so we want to go ahead and kind of reduce some of the noise without taking away the sharpness. And that's pretty much what I do with the background usually. So definitely make it pop. So just to compare, this is one that I might have already done this one, so it's not a very good comparison actually. That's fine. You can just rewind the video to see the before. Okay, so then now that we have our screenshot, we can kind of move it around where we think it's gonna go in the thumbnail. Then we grab a face. So the face is really important. The face you use, I mean, you don't want him looking tired. You don't want him looking dead. You don't want him looking confused or bored. You want him looking excited, happy, angry, like emotional, basically. You never want to grab a face where he's like, unless it's to do with the video, like that's like the main focus, like, oh, I fell asleep while stacking, you know, something like that. So yeah, you always want to find the fitting face. 9 times out of 10, excited, happy, angry, some kind of like emotion. But I think happy is usually the best kind of face that you want to find for thumbnails. And then once you find the thumbnail, you're going to edit, or once you find the face that fits, you're going to edit it. This is a screen grab from a game. I do believe I upscaled it with AI. As you can see, the teeth look really weird. So you don't need to do that, really. I usually don't do that. This is just the only one that I have right now. So then once you have the face though, you're gonna go ahead and again, go to camera raw filter. I'm gonna delete, I already did this. I'm gonna go ahead and delete it so my computer doesn't blow up. So you're gonna grab the layer, you're gonna go to filter, camera raw filter. Okay, so you're going to kind of the same things that we did with the background. So we're gonna up the exposure a little bit, up the contrast even more because it kind of looks washed out. Lower the highlights slightly. He's like slightly too bright right here. Let's bring up some of the blacks. This kind of gives him some depth. And then again, kind of same thing. Give him some texture, a little bit of clarity. No grain for now. Then we're going to sharpen him. Holy moly, that's too much. So we're going to go like right here. And then we're going to smoothen some of that noise out. Find a good happy medium. Okay, then we press OK. So look at the difference here. Before, after, before, after. So satisfying. Okay, so then we're going to go, again, grab this layer. We're going to go to filter. Now we're going to do neural filters. And I usually do it in this order, but sometimes I do mess up and I do this before camera raw filter, which is fine. We're gonna do photo restoration. So you might not have this, it is in beta, so I don't think everyone has it, but that's okay. You don't like necessarily need to do it if you do the camera raw filter. So then I turn this down, enhance the face, there we go, and hit OK. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Oh, one thing I forgot to do camera raw filter is I give him some color. So we want his skin to be less pale. Like he just went to the beach. Not too much. It looks super fake. Yeah, not too much. It won't look natural. It'll look super over edited. Just wait. It's processing. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and select the subject. Get rid of the background. And you're just going to press this button here, the square with the circle in the middle. And there we go. If the selection is not perfect, you can go in, press the black part, the mask, and press B. Okay, so once you're in B, you can delete more. You can choose whatever brush you want, if you want it to be softer or harder. And then if you press X, that'll bring the white brush, which lets you add it back in. and then X again to take it out for the black brush. So black removes, white adds. So you could go in here and like fine tune this as much as you want. Depends how much, your time constraints. So me personally, I would probably leave it for the most part right now because of time restrictions. So that looks good, I think. Okay, so then you want to go ahead and figure out the size. So I personally, I think I grabbed the mask instead of the picture. Oh, here we go. Okay, so usually I do like 1/3, and between 1/3 and 1/2 of the thumbnail, I want it to be him, his face. He's the main focus. And then I usually try to make it so that it kind of looks like he's looking at what's happening, right? So it's all kind of like leading the viewer here. So try to do leading lines. So leading lines, this is kind of leading the viewer right here. Rule of thirds, leading lines, like all of that matters. So there we go. So we might want to make it slightly smaller if you want his hands to show. And then if there's a little bit of background showing, you could always go in with, it's loading. You can always go in with a new layer and color behind there. Just make sure you're actually behind him. Okay, so there's just a lot you can do. This is just like super duper basic. You could even add text right here if it enhances the thumbnail, if you think it's going to help get people to click. If you don't think it's really going to help get people to click, then don't do it. You can add graphics, you can add, whatever the story is, if it's gonna help tell the story, add it. If it's adding some kind of value, add it. If it's just for funsies, don't add it because it's gonna create noise, and we don't want too much noise in the thumbnail. We don't want people to have to think like, oh, what does that mean? Like we don't want people to have to like overthink. We want people to be intrigued, but we don't want people to be confused. So then once I'm happy with the color, like if this is popping enough, if this looks good, I'll go ahead and combine. I'll click all the layers. So I click and then press Control to click the other layer, Control to click the other layer, and then we're going to group everything, Control G. And then we're going to duplicate everything, Control J. And then we're going to combine this group with Control E. So this flattens up all the layers. So now it's just one layer, one picture. I like to convert it to a smart object. This lets me turn on and off any kind of filter that I add. Okay, so then we select it again, we go to filter, and then we're going to again do camera raw filter. And this kind of helps bring it all together. So we're going to, similarly as we did before, turn up the exposure, do the contrast slightly. These are just like minor tweaks. And then here is where I turn up the grain. Maybe sharpen it slightly. Maybe slightly more exposed. Okay, and then we hit OK. So this, yeah, so see it kind of looks like it's one picture instead of a picture on top of another picture as the grain matches. And then you're good. So anything, this is like, to me, like, okay, this is a good thumbnail for a video that I don't want to spend too much time on. But if you wanted to, you could obviously go in and add more. So you could, like, for example, if you wanted to, let's see, create clipping mask. So I made a layer that's going to only be able to draw on him. So if you wanted to like add a highlight to his face, you can do that. Let's pick a blue color. So we can do this. Okay, we can do that. And then the layer, we can make it mess around with it. I think this color doesn't go very well. Ah. Okay, we need like a brighter color. And then we need a different layer. And then we go in and just like tweak it. I do a softer brush. And then the hardness, we don't want it to be hard. The flow, we don't want it to be very flowy. Turn the flow down a lot. Kind of just, mess with it. There's like way better ways of doing this. I'm just kind of trying to show that, you could keep going further with it. That looks really bad, but you get the idea. And then sometimes I'll even make a layer and brighten up these colors. So I'll go like here, I'll add a layer, and then I'll like grab this color. It's the red, right? Oh my god, my Photoshop is tweaking. What the? Sometimes if I close it and open it. I don't know why it doesn't. Okay, so we're gonna color pick. Sometimes Photoshop does this. I don't know why. It's like refusing to do what I want it to. I'm just trying to color pick red. Okay, we'll just go to red here. It's fine. It's freaking out right now. Oh my god. Well, you get what I'm saying, hopefully. Okay, so like let's say we want to do that. And then I would just kind of like click around, see what would make it look cool. And sometimes it doesn't work out, which is fine. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, anyway, I think this is good. Like, we can add a layer here. Actually, what you can also do is you can add a brightness and contrast layer. No, a saturation layer. Hue and saturation, and then we're gonna do Control I. Oops. Control I to invert the selection. We're gonna turn the saturation down, the lightness up. Okay, and then we're gonna go in and brush, make his teeth less yellow. So Photoshop is freaking out right now. We want the flow like a little bit less. There we go. You can do this to the eyes as well. Let's turn down the opacity and the flow. This makes his eyes pop, and this makes his teeth brighter. So I wouldn't post this with the teeth like this. I would fix it too first with the brush. And then you can do the same with another layer, but this time we're gonna go more saturated here. And then again, we're gonna invert it, and I'm just gonna get his mouth in here. Make it more red. Let me move this light. Oops. Ah. Okay, we need to go back to this. How come it's not showing? Okay, I think. Oh, I'm not in the right layer, that's why. I just gotta make sure you're in the right layer. So just gonna make his mouth pop a little bit. See, it's nothing crazy. It's like kind of subtle, but I think it makes a difference. And then look at the eyes, the mouth and the eyes. So again, nothing crazy, but just like little subtleties. And yeah, that's basically it. Okay. This last part that I added, these are all like personal preferences. If you have extra time, you can go in and do that. But for the most part, like just the first part that I showed you up until I combine the layers, that's usually all that you need to do. And then if you want to add a text, you can do that. The text, I mean, I could do a whole nother tutorial on just the text, but okay. Bye.